Right then, hello everyone, and welcome back to Cloudcraft. I am your host George, and today we are talking into something that is quite a bit of a game changer for anyone who has ever started at an AWS build and wondered, blimey, what on the earth happened there? If you have ever felt like a digital detective trying to piece together why a specific account suddenly decides to spike like a lottery winner, then today's episode is specifically for you. We are talking about the AWS FinOps Agent, which has just ended public preview. Now, if you are working in the FinOps or engineering world, you will know that the tide is turning. We are moving from those old fashioned reactive monthly dashboard reviews towards something more continuous and real time. The trouble is that shift usually requires a massive amount of specialist expertise and hours of manual digging through logs. This new agent is designed to be your AI powered colleague that does that heavy lifting on your behalf. Then, what actually is an AWS FinOps agent? So let's start with the basics. What is it? At its core, the AWS FinOps agent is an agentic AI solution built on Amazon Bedrock. Now, agentic AI is a bit of a buzzy word lately, isn't it? In the tech world, it means we are giving the AI hands and feet, the ability to actually go and do the things autonomously rather than just answering a tech question in a text box. It can investigate cost anomalies down to the root cause and answer your burning cost questions in natural language directly in the tools you already use every day, like Slack and Jira. Instead of just sending you a vague alert that a cost spiked, this agent takes the next step automatically. It correlates that change with the AWS CloudTrail events, which is basically the record of who changed what and when across your entire environment. It identifies the specific change that drove the spike and produces a summary that points to the likely root cause and the responsible owner. You can even set it up to open a Jira ticket or post in a Slack channel automatically. So the engineer who actually owns the resource get the context immediately. Amazon Bedrock and MCP is the tech under the hood. Now, let's go a bit deeper into how this thing actually thinks. It is built on Bedrock, which includes automated abuse detection to ensure everything stays safe and secure. But what makes it clever is how it draws the data from across the AWS ecosystem. It hooks into AWS Cost Explorer, Cost Anomaly Detection, the Cost Optimization Hub, and Computer Optimizer. When we talk about building these agents, developers often use something called Model Context Protocol (MCP) service. This allows the agent to recognize and pull in specialized documents or connect to specific AWS billing data. By adding this context, the AI can consider much more information during its inference stage to give you a better answer. In terms of design, you could think of it like a supervisor model. Imagine a manager agent overseeing specialist agents below it. One specialist might just look at a week over week trends, while another investigates commitments like savings plan. The supervisor compiles all their work into that final report you see in Slack. This makes the system incredibly scalable because you can keep adding specialized skill without breaking the whole process. Let's look at some proper use case because That's where you will see the real return of investment. One of the common use cases is anomaly investigation. Usually, when an alert fires, a FinOps practitioner has to jump between Cost Explorer to see the what, then CloudTrail to see the who, and maybe the CloudWatch for the where. It is like stitching together a digital quilt, and it can take hours. The FinOps agent automates the triage. We can use it to catch those small unintended cost changes that developers might introduce before they compound into a massive bill at the end of the month. One of the other common use cases is natural language inquiry. Imagine one of your engineers asking, "Why did my cost go up last month?" Instead of them having to learn how to navigate complex billing consoles, the agent gives a response that identifies the specific services, usage drives, and cost changes. You can even upload context file. So if you have a file that maps account IDs to specific team names, you can ask, "What is the cost for team X?" And the agent will know exactly which account to look at. Let me take one more use case, recurring reporting. We have all been there, spending half a day manually taking screenshot of dashboard for a PowerPoint deck for leadership. This agent can be scheduled to generate these reports in HTML, PDF, or PowerPoint automatically. Many ERP dashboards have seen great success here, using the agent to produce the trend and spend views they used to assemble by hand. It turns a manual headache into a background process. Now let's talk about observability for a bit. The bridge between engineering and finance, because this is where FinOps gets really interesting. In the cloud, observability is not just about knowing if an application is up or broken. It is about understanding application health, usage patterns, and the design implication of your architecture. The FinOps agent enhances observability by answering the why behind the numbers. It classifies cost changes into two categories, usage driven or rate driven. Usage driven means you are using more resources, maybe a development scale up or a new workload started. Rate driven means your usage stayed the same but the price changed. Perhaps a savings plan expired or you hit a different pricing tier. By correcting these events with CloudTrail, the agent bridges the gap between the bill and the audit logs. It provides that outside-in view, helping you see if your architectural decisions are actually performing at an optimum cost. When a cost anomaly fires, the agent asks five fundamental questions. What changed? When did it change? Where did it happen? Who did it? And why? If you are in a massive enterprise with hundreds of accounts, this can be a nightmare to track manually. However, the agent can perform cross-account investigations. It automatically discovers your organization-wide CloudTrail trail. That is a single trail that captures events from every account in your organization and queries the CloudWatch logs where those events are stored. Let's imagine a scenario. A FinOps lead gets an alert about an RDS spend increase. He clicks a button, and within minutes, the agent tells him that IAM role called platform deploy scaled up a cluster for a load test in a dev account, but it was never turned on. He now has the identity, the time, and the reason, allowing him to resolve the issue in 20 minutes rather than chasing people for days. Now let's talk about how this fits into your existing workflows. If the agent integrates directly with Slack and Jira, you can configure it into listen for events, and post its findings to a specific channel like FinOps alerts, FinOps notification, etc. But a common question is, should we let these agents take action on our behalf? While the tech is capable for writing permission, like shutting down an instance, most practitioners suggest starting with read-only permissions or a human-in-the-loop approach. This means the agent does the investigation and suggests the fix, but a human hits the approve button before anything actually changes. It is about building trust in the AI before you let it go wild in your production environment. Right, the bit you have all been waiting for, the cost. During this public preview period, you can use the AWS FinOps Agent at no charge. It is a brilliant time to experiment without worrying about the bill for the agent itself. However, there are a few caveats to keep in mind. There is a monthly usage limit in place during the preview. While the agent is free, standard charges apply for the other AWS service it uses. For example, if it runs a cross-account investigation querying CloudWatch logs inside, you will pay the standard rates for those logs queries. Pricing for AI generally is often based on token, basically bits of text processed by the model. Typically, input tokens are cheaper than the output tokens, but as a conversation goes on, the cost can grow as the agent remembers previous parts of the chat. To get started, you will need to be in the US East North Virginia region, though it can manage costs across other regions if set up in your management account. You create the agent, do a one-click IAM role setup to give it read access, and then connect your Jira or Slack workspace. To wrap things up, the AWS FinOps agent is really about leverage. It is not here to replace the FinOps team. It's here to take away the traditional repetitive tasks like chasing down cost outlays or formatting CSV files so you can focus on high value strategy and business value. It turns cloud financial management from a reactive monthly headache into a continuous automated workflow that engineering and finance team can run together. It is an exciting step towards autonomous cloud operation. That's all for this edition of CloudCraft podcast. I'm George. If you found this useful, do hop onto the AWS console and give the preview a go. Until next time, keep your cloud optimized and your bills predictable. Cheers.